Hold up, grab my soda, cause I told you I'm colder than hell. I ain't buying what you sell, it don't ring my bell. Unless it's got the smell, you know, like grape paint. We ain't talking vapes or the color of drapes, or a gorilla in a cape. It's the good shit, just one hit. You so lit, you fall into a bit, non-bit. What's fucking funny is you're a monkey, a high school flunky, hero and junkie, obliteration of the carnation with gross castration, skewed citations by your intimations. Get real, young man, there's only one stand. You can't stand a suntan, how you gonna live on the land? Obliteration of the carnation with gross castration in skewed citations by your intimations. I'm a truth in rotation, you're a cheap imitation. Dark said hums, 808s make the ground shake. Cold as the grave, every word's a land quake. You're a flicker in a cipher, I'm the flame that won't fade. Step into the night where the shadows are made. What's fucking funny is you're a monkey, a high school flunky, hero and junkie. I'm gonna click another hit of this good shit, and I'm already it, so take over, it's been non-bit.
Thank you for joining us at Personality Inventory Mockumentary Productions.
And greetings, everybody. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. Wanted to come and do a little sub drive for the new channel, Heckle-Bus Rides, wherein we're going to be providing the Short Bus Podcast TV, a new debate platform. Hopefully we'll be able to establish a regular group of people that can come up, including any chat people that want to participate, and that is going to be one of the drivers for this new debate channel, is chat participation, bringing chatters up out of the chat section to join us on the panel, because the ultimate goal here is not the drama and the obscene and insane effects, but rather a good etiquette platform where people learn how to come in unity and get rid of their biases by using a debate platform to prove they have open minds and a willingness to grow and progress. And Tribe says Afro Man is free. Actually, I believe he's been free for a long time. He's going through a civil rights or a lawsuit where they're trying to claim that he can't use the police officers that arrested him and the video that he got from his own webcam or security cam when they did an unlawful search. So good news. At least something's going forward. I hope he is successful in that. And for now, let's I've got to switch over to a new page here. And like I said, the new channel is a debate channel where I hope that we can bring some etiquette, and the drastic opposition to it that I bring with this channel is a character I developed, a Little Lippy. If you go to my El Perro channel, you will see the short section. You'll see a bunch of Little Lippy videos, and I hope to incorporate a few of those into the program. One of those is this one here. It's called Which Way to the Asylum? because that's what the Short Bus podcast is all about. A short bus and a short ride, one way to the asylum. They're coming to take me away, haha.
And you thought these panels were your safe space, huh? What makes you think this is not a clown show? When you invite a clown to your house, then expect a circus by proxy. And if you don't like the fanfare and the elephant in the room, you can just leave. There's no crying in here, and if you do, things get real serious. All it takes is one bad day to reduce the sanest man to lunacy.
And that's what we usually find on these panelverse setups, is a lot of lunacy. That's why I was talking about the drama. People get too enveloped in that drama, and they lose the sight of being able to use this panelverse as an educational forum. It's what the internet truly is. It's the greatest library in the world, and we're using it for nil purposes instead of its most potential use, in my opinion, of course. And one of the first videos that I plan on doing, I only need one more new sub to go live. And so the first video I plan on doing is, I recently finished up in the last few months a essay that I've been drawing up from what I've seen in this panelverse and the internet, now that I've been involved with it about 3 or 4 years as a panel member, not just somebody chatting or watching or doing my own videos, but actually getting involved with other creators and panelists. And in that firsthand experience, I've drawn up some of my own conclusions and wrote up an essay on it. So I'm going to be reading that off for my first video. And it's a 21-page essay on the paradigm shift that I see in knowledge distribution and media authority. We see a greater shift in knowledge. More people are able to use this internet as a knowledge base rather than just colleges, which I think, in my opinion, again, are more indoctrinated education methods. And the media authority is that very knowledge coming out amongst people that do not have college degrees and yet have a preponderance of evidence simply by using their reason and logic. And that's the importance of this new debate platform, is I hope to join people in that use of reason and logic rather than the emotion. When we get debates and start going to ad hom character attacks, and that's the first thing that tells me people are in their emotions. They've already lost the topic and gone sideways in an emotional tangent. So that's what we're trying to rectify in this new channel. Let's see here. And of course, one of the things that I want to bring about to help in that is a certain level of etiquette. While I can't be strict and demanding, because through my experience, I know better that no matter how hard I try to make a good platform with good diplomatic etiquette, showing good debates and discussions that prove the element of educating others that need that knowledge, I know along with that comes a lot of people that will be in their emotions. And hopefully part of that paradigm shift is that this platform will be one of those ones to help those such people come out of their emotions and get into more etiquette and diplomatic activities. So let's take a look. One of my fondest memories when I was a younger child is the Dr. Demento show. And the Dr. Demento show, one of my favorite little dittos there was this.
Hey ho ho, hee hee ha ha, to the funny farm. They're coming to take me away, ha ha. They're coming to take me away, ho ho, hee hee, ha ha, to the funny farm. They're coming to take me away, ha ha. They're coming to take me away, ho ho, hee hee, ha ha, to the funny farm.
And so, through the levels of etiquette, I hope to be able to, again, through chat participation or even other panelists that are tired of the crybaby rhetoric or straw manning or whatever kind of nil tactic that people want to play in these blood sport arenas that they call them. We're trying to avoid. We want that chat participation, and like I said, panelist members as well, in different levels of donations to time panelists out for their crying or whatnot. Remove them from panel entirely for the debate. Remove them from the channel entirely for too much toxicity. So, start out at low level green light stuff. You're still on the green light, but this is your third warning. You get onto a yellow light, you get 3 warnings there. Then you get onto the red light where you're in danger of being banned from the entire channel. So different kinds of things like that. And that's what I want the chat participation for, is progressive growth to help in that. See, it's your right to know. And in a good discussion and good debate, you should get good knowledge. But if it's being destroyed by people on panel that are bringing drama, it's up to you to decide whether you want that drama or not. Remember, it's the people on the panel that are bringing the knowledge. And if there are people on the panel that are causing drama, preventing that knowledge, I have a right, singularly, a great right to express myself. That's the First Amendment. The other part in that First Amendment that most people don't discuss is that exponentially, everybody else out there, in plurality, in the group think thing, even if it is a safe space, has a greater right to know. Suppressing one voice of one knowledge destroys the hearing of everybody else that could use that knowledge. That's what we're trying to help prevent. Right? We're trying to help prevent the cutting off of the flow of knowledge. In that, like I said earlier, we plan on using some of the little lippy clips, and these will hopefully, again, through chat participation, help us determine the different levels by use of the video. Certain videos will be in the green section, and if you get this video, it's your first warning. If you get this video, it's your second warning. So it'll be like a coded system of signals. Important for people to comprehend how not only grammar changes, but language itself crosses multiple barriers. And that means you can say the same thing in different formats. One of my recent things here is that I like to use my background visuals here to help people to speak a message myself, to help people understand certain things. So when I use a picture like this, I'm merely trying to say a simple message of calling someone a dickhead, per se. But rather than being verbal about it, I get to use a picture that says the same thing without speaking a word, and it leaves it all up to interpretation. So these are the kind of concepts that I'm trying to invoke here, is the use of different symbolism, whether it be verbal language, literal language, which is the written word, and this all is relevant to how we communicate with each other. There's even a body language. So in terms of service, you can't come up here and use certain sexually explicit body languages that you could use in a pornography. That's not allowed here. So the same thing, we're using a level of scrutiny to bring about a certain level of decency. So let's take a look at the next one. This is the Judge Cupcake. And so when the judge, when the chat speaks, you are going to be the judge. This is part of your chat participation. You get to be part of the judgment section.
Welcome to Feelings Court. You're charged with cupcaking without permission. Your sentence? 1 week of forced empathy and 12 reaction emojis.
And this is for people that want to come up. Oops, I guess I didn't share that right. Let's do that again.
Welcome to Feelings Court. You're charged with cupcaking without permission. Your sentence? 1 week of forced empathy and 12 reaction emojis.
And so we see in this panelverse, there's a lot of what we call white knighting. In other words, people that will come up on panels and try to support another panelist for some supposed attack or something like this. And this is one of those things that we want to try to stay away from. So when people come up here white knighting in their emotions and can't support the person that they're trying to white knight for with actual facts and relativity, then they're basically doing nothing but crying, just like the other guy. This is the kind of stuff that we're trying to point out through these different little clips and videos that we're going to work out as, again, chat participation, which go to El Apparel and check out all those little lippy clown shorts. Start making your choice now. Get some viewership here and bring it over to the new channel to help develop that channel with your own opinions. That's what I want. That's what I need. That's what a good, solid platform needs, is good, solid platform or opinions across a large crowd. We're very small right now. Like I said, I only need one sub to get the channel up live and running. Let's check. I got the sub. I appreciate the new extra sub. So now I can start going live. We have success already. But before we get into it, like I said, my first video is going to be on the paradigm shift of knowledge distribution and media authority as I see it on this panelverse now. And like I said, I used to build and program computers when I was very young. It's usually when a new technology comes out, it's the government agents that get the first products before they go out to the regular general population consumer base. So it's like a testing ground, federal government employees and stuff. So when computers first came out, the testing ground was the employees and their families. So we got the first of the Osborne, the TI 99.4A, the Apple in its original form before the Apple IIe came out, all kinds of things. And I was building and programming them because I learned how to tear them down and fix them, because at that time there were no techs. So a lot like your old automobiles came with manuals that showed you how to actually tear down your engine. That actually came with automobiles back in the day. As engineering or as the product went into the mainstream customer part, then they started excluding them, and now you have to go to techs, mechanics, automobile mechanics. Brings about all kinds of new jobs and stuff. We see this in that paradigm shift on this metaverse. We see all kinds of new jobs coming out for electronic transcription service and stuff like that. And of course, the creator content has exploded. It has put a device at the hands of creators that allows them to perform multiple tasks that they wouldn't otherwise be able to do, because now they can generate it through AI. So we're seeing this shift both in talents and knowledge and the media authority. Who gets to post what? This is a much grander First Amendment platform than most think. But at the same time, the imperative of that First Amendment, like I said, is the greater base of people that have a right to know, rather than just myself as a single content creator. So that's why I want to bring that audience in it as a full participation and help me understand better if this is going to work very soon, because it'll show a growth rate of people that really want knowledge rather than drama. That's what I'm hoping for. So it's only you guys that can make it successful. I can't do it by myself. Know what I mean? So let's take a look at the next one. Because as it goes to the numbers and everything, like I said, if this program, if this podcast is going to be successful, there's an algorithm, okay? And that's why I'm wanting to demand a certain etiquette so that it can grow rapidly. Because there's a lot of things in terms of service when it comes to foul language, being sexually explicit, even in the language, the algorithm will pick up on it and prevent those numbers. And again, my concern here is not the growth in an audience for our monetary base, but for the knowledge base, so that it bounces back and reflects to the viewers in a gaining of knowledge. That's where the true credence comes from. The intent results in the proper effect. My intent here is education. In that, the only way to prove that is not by a monetary value or by a number base, but the number base or the qualified base of those that are actually learning and returning to learn more. Okay? So let's look at the algorithm one.
Forgive me, Father Algorithm, for I have posted. It's been 3 hours since my last emotional meltdown. But don't worry, I got a screenshot for closure.
So basically, what we're saying here is if you want to bring your emotions, make sure they're solidified in a foundation that will allow them. Otherwise, if we're up here on a topic and you get in your emotions, then you're not only distracting from the topic, but you prove that you're not even interested in the topic because you'd rather get emotional. Okay? Showing that you can't concentrate on the topic through reason and logic. So again, I appreciate the 50 subs and keep sharing this out. Heckle-Bus Rides. See at the scrolling across the bottom says please sub to our new channel pinned at the top of the chat or at the bottom of the description of the video. Join us in our first days attempting to bring the true intellectual debates and conversations. We want to stay away from the drama, but we must admit that it will come. So let's have a level of consequences that somebody can go through, a set of steps on the way out the door. But we want to make sure it's a short trip. We're not going to be like a 3-year-old asking the same question repeatedly over and over and keep answering that question for them in multiple different ways. Okay? We're all adults, and we want a simplistic method of comprehension and understanding. That means we must maintain a certain level of etiquette. The next one. This is where it's important to understand the mirror of reflection means it's shining back on you. Again, the chat participation will show me whether you want drama or intellectual conversations. Oops.
It's time to bury your drama, no matter who it is.
And no matter who it is means even if it's you, even if you're the one getting in your feelers, it's time to bury that drama. And you're the only one that can. In other words, when you need to bury the drama, you're the only one that can do it. You're the only one that sees drama if we're having a topical discussion and you get in your emotions. Stay out of them and we're fine. Stay out of them and you can remain with that reason and logic. And when you remain with that reason and logic, you oftentimes have the effects of ending up with an education somewhere. So, again, like I said, thank you kindly, everybody. We hit 50 subs. Keep sharing it. Help out, get those subs up a little bit more so we can make sure that if we don't drop below 50 subs for some odd reason. Let's see here. Let's go back to El Perro. And like I said, this is the El Perro Shorts page. And I've got a bunch of clips here with the clowns on it. These are the clips I'm talking about when it comes to oops.
Audience. Self-assurance is wondering why would you need therapy if you've got an audience.
Self-assurance. Absolutely. That's where I'm getting my self-assurance in this particular podcast. Like I said, if it's going to be successful, it's going to be successful because of the audience. Why? Because I need the audience participation in order to discern whether we're actually putting out a good volume of education, and that good volume of education is being received, that it is recepted or accepted through this receptacle. So again, it's chat participation in the knowledge, the education, in progressing and learning, so that the chat themselves can become comfortable with getting on panel and discussing it with logic and reason. Again, a good faith effort to try to move with the paradigm shift that I see in bringing people out of the drama into knowledge distribution and media authority. Taking that responsibility yourself, again, reiterating, like I've said many times before, do not believe me, do not believe the neighbor, do not believe the government, do not believe your mother, for crying out loud. Do your research. And then, of course, like I've said before, continue to do your research. Research into other topics that might relate. Research continuously back and forth. Go back in time to previous research and see if it's changed, and research it again in current times. Stick with the updates and stuff. This is how we see those things that change. This is how I developed my essay on the paradigm shift that I see. I've kept track of things. That's your responsibility. Your own observances are your responsibility. And the more you dive into these drama panels and stuff and get excited by that part, the more you get distracted from those observances that you should not naturally be partaking of. Things that will help you progress and grow. This distraction is actually a detriment to you when you get involved in those emotional things and let logic and reason slide. You become one of those far right wing or far left wing advocates, mainly because you don't maintain a sense of self balance. So yeah, let's check it out here. Oops, which one? Heckle-Bus Rides. Let's see, the description says more. Join November 12th, 2023. So this tells you how long I've been working on this. Just over 2 years now I've been working on this. Like I said, I've got 30 channels, and I'm working on each one for different purposes. Posts. I posted this the other day, kind of give people a little insight onto what we're trying to do here in a short summary. And that is, thanks for joining me in my journey so far. So far, it's all been about law and legalities for the most part. But my main study throughout life has always been philosophy and psychology and how people interact. And that's because I know my own relationship, both attitude and behaviors suck. I've never had anybody in my life that was really so honorable and respectable that I looked up to them and appreciated them and revered them. So my relationships do suck. But I appreciate all of you. My attempt at expanding into something other than law had led me to start a debate platform. This is my way of helping cope with my own relationship inabilities by learning how to get along with people, by forcing myself to use a good set of diplomatic etiquette, something that instills the trueness of a great topical exchange, an etiquette that is the functional mechanism of forward progress in any discussion. Please join us at Heckle-Bus Rides for our new stream, which will be held weekly as a debate platform with interactive functions for the chat as well as panelists. Help us build and grow by subbing now. The Short Bus Podcast TV, where you go to short ride on a short bus, one way out the door, if you cannot stick to the etiquette required. In other words, if you can't show us that you're willing to progressively learn and be beneficial not only to yourself but to the rest of the panelists, and show that you are open-minded and are in fact learning and changing as the world constantly changes. That's what we're looking for. This is so that any discussion can effectively help educate the audience to the truthfulness of facts on any topic. Bring your sources, not your insanity and feelers. And then let's go back here. Go to live. Go to live. Go to live. That wasn't it. Where did I put it? This one? No, I know where it's at. It's on Heckle-Bus. It's this one. My apologies, folks. And we're just going to go down to the details section. It says, please join us in our new debate platform, one with a certain etiquette and always the BS that comes with it. So we're accepting the BS to a certain extent. We will not allow it to continue and grow. Our effect and intent is to help bring people out of that BS of drama. We hope to be able to enhance live viewer participation in many ways, such as joining the panel and polls that you generate content for debates. In other words, I'll put up a poll with 4 different topics. How did we get that? That's not what I wanted. Because I didn't. There we go. I'm still learning, see? I need the chat help. Anyway, we want the chatters to be able to pick through 4 topics. So every other week, I want to do topic specific. And then the weeks in between those every other weeks, in other words, every other week in between, we're going to do open panel, open topic. So that panelists can bring their topics. And then every other week on the opposite weeks, the chatters will bring their topics. But the chatter topics will be specifically on losing rights and abilities through advanced technologies, and then reverting back to holistic remedies that enhance natural talents and activities. So I want to I want the chat audience involved in the technologies that we're currently dealing with in modern time, and ways that we can revert back through natural methods instead of having to use that technology, as well as the new electronic technologies that we're using as communication devices and everything, a better way to use them in regards to technology being beneficial or detrimental, There are ways you can turn tracking services off on certain devices because it's detrimental to you. You may want to do that. How do you do that? So there's ways you can do that. Those are the kind of topics I want to get to. And that's because I think that a lot of people have been enslaved in indoctrination, a cognitive dissonance that caused not only a comfort and convenience of the technology, but a complacency and a dependency upon it. And I think that's a major issue as part of the distraction of needing knowledge, because it seems that so many other people out there have it and that you should be covered just simply by being able to ask somebody else to do it for you or to explain it for you. And like I've said many times, I can explain something to you, but I cannot comprehend it for you. So that's the importance of this. And then it says we will work with a schedule of topics as well as hold the open panels for open topics, like I just said. So basically, I want, first and foremost, after I do my first video, I want to be able to release a music intro that I'm working on. So I've got a co-host that I'm going to present that to, and we're going to have one that we develop. But before we actually institute it, I want to do a few videos where we get that chat participation in developing the channel itself. So before we actually start the channel off, I'm going to be doing some videos like this, introductory videos, where I want the chat participation in suggesting, or maybe they can do it themselves and provide a link so we can check it out and present that to an audience to see which ones they prefer. In other words, we're going to have one or two intros that we're going to produce ourselves, and then we're going to ask the audience for suggestions that either we can turn around and produce one or two more music intros and then put them up and have the chat audience select which one they actually want, a majority vote, or chat participants that are actually able to develop a music intro themselves. Maybe they could perhaps develop one and enter it as a part of the selection. So again, working with chat participation heavily on this to help show how important you people are. But the only reason that I want your participation is to show a progressive growth and a paradigm shift in intellect and willingness to stay out of the drama. I think that's needed so much here. So let's go to my list now. I've got some notes here. And the first video that we watched, the second video we watched, the short clip about the asylum. This one here is going to be the intro.
And you thought these panels were your safe space, huh? What makes you think this is not a clown show? When you invite a clown to your house, then expect a circus by proxy. And if you don't like the fanfare and the elephant in the room, you can just leave. There's no crying in here, and if you do, things get real serious. All it takes is one bad day to reduce the sanest man to lunacy.
And so, what I'm saying there is, I would much rather that on this particular platform, if you get in your emotions and you start crying or trying to ad hom somebody with straw man attacks or anything like that, I would prefer you just take it upon yourself and leave. And that's why we're going to put in place mechanisms of removal, steps for removal. So if you cry, well, we can give you a timeout. If you cry again, we can give you a longer timeout. If you continue the crying, we give you permanent timeout. So I would much rather you just leave when you get your emotions, go calm down, and then you're welcome to come back. If you can take that self accountability and deal with it yourself so that we don't have to, that would be best for you. That's what I really want. I want you people to do what's best for you. This is just a platform to help point it out. In my particular opinion, again, only my opinion, that I believe a good solid education with good knowledge is best for everybody. Mama always said 2 heads are better than 1 for a reason. So that is going to be the intro. And then after that, we want to play the intro music. And I just want a real short ditty, not taking up a whole lot of time, just a special one off, one cut for the Short Bus Podcast TV, period. Then, let's see here. Of course, we want to do membership levels. So we want to do like a 3-tier membership level so that you have different perks for the different membership level you're at. Then, of course, like I said, the Little Lippy shorts. If you get involved now, go to the El Perro channel, go through the Little Lippy shorts, make mental notes or whatever, so that when we go on Heckle-Bus Rides, the Short Bus Podcast TV, you can give suggestions on the different removal levels and what video to remove for what. So if you see a nice clip that's talking about somebody that's trying to white knight for self-validation, and you think this particular guy is white knighting for self-validation, you can see that. You've learned to see that through the observances. Suggest that I use that clip, send a $5 donation to have him quieted for 5 minutes, or whatever the donation is to remove him for the day, or to block him entirely, whatever it takes. Again, wanting chat participation to figure all this out, because it's going to be your choice. My choice is to do this for you. I would love to have good quality people with good quality intellect and the ability to know when to use their mouth, to know how to respect another speaker when they're speaking, and follow a certain set of rules or procedures of etiquette. Not demanding strictness, but at least respect. And of course, merchandise. One of my other ideas through all of this is babbleheads. Special market babbleheads, not bobbleheads. They will bobble, but they will also babble with little voice mechanisms in them that you can use yourself to record yourself, or to have a little lippy clip recorded right into it. Up to you guys. And of course, this will be based on characters that I've already developed, particularly Little Lippy, and of course myself as El Perro with the good old short mustache, reminding people that if we don't learn good, proper diplomatic etiquette in our conversations, and it goes by the wayside, we get distracted and end up becoming Hitler's willing executioners for the very babble coming out of our mouths, which is generally derived out of and into drama. It is the loop that most people are caught in. So again, babbleheads as merchandise, and those babbleheads are not restricted just to myself and Little Lippy, but I am also willing to produce babbleheads for particular panelists that appear on the panel, and others as other content streamers or anything like that. Anybody that would want one, I could certainly, with the correct paperwork allowing it, so there's no rights infringements, I could certainly make a character babblehead for other people that want them on the panel. So all kinds of ideas. all kinds of mechanisms that we can work. But again, I can't do it alone. And so I'm reaching out to chatters and subscribers to help with that and bring us around to a good growing community of people that want knowledge and understand the importance of the freedom of expression and the freedom of the press is not the singular right for each of us, but the exponential right of everybody else to know what we are saying and creating. So think about this stuff. And I want to thank everybody. Keep hitting those buttons. Get some more people over here to Heckle-Bus Rides for the Short Bus Podcast TV. Let's get some involvement going now. And I will get the first video live set up for my paradigm shift essay. So be watching for that. And I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Get the word out and get the people that you know have good minds and good language skills. Invite them. I want their participation in chat and on panel. I want this a growing of knowledge. Remember, people, the scriptures say, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And in my opinion, the obverse of that should say that if my people want to progress and grow, then they should be concerned with knowledge. That means they should have the ability to discern it, and that means they most certainly must observe it, contemplate it, and discuss it. The very importance of the First Amendment is to bring about what we imagine. Content creators. So think about that again, and remember, folks, I love you, but I don't give a rat's ass whether you love me back or not. That's to say, I don't care if you hate me, I don't care if you don't respect me, and that part's on you. And so with that, one more time on the way out the door,
Hold up, grab my soda, cause I told you I'm colder than hell. I ain't buying what you sell, it don't ring my bell. Unless it's got the smell, you know, like grape ape. We ain't talking vapes or the color of drapes, or a gorilla in a cape. It's the good shit, just one hit. You so lit, you fall into a bit, non-bit. What's fucking funny is you're a monkey, a high school flunky, hero and junkie, obliteration of the carnation with gross castration, skewed citations by your intimations. Get real, young man, there's only one stand. You can't stand a suntan. How you gonna live on the land? Obliteration of the carnation with gross castration in skewed citations by your intimations. I'm a truth in rotation. You're a cheap imitation. Doc said hums, 808s make the ground shake. Cold as the grave, every word's a land quake. You're a flicker in a cipher, I'm the flame that won't fade. Step into the night where the shadows are made. What's fucking funny is you're a monkey, a high school flunky, hero and junkie. I'm gonna click another hit of this good shit, and I'm already it, so take over this bit, non-bit.
Thank you for joining us at Personality Inventory Mockumentary Production.